Hi, here we are on Wednesday again. We're going to be talking about murders today. I thought we would do murders and suicides, but there were too many of each. So next week it'll be suicides. Today is murder. This one is from Julie and she is local. I attended one of your events and enjoyed it very much. I wanted to ask you this question at the event, but I never got the chance. Are you able to solve murders if you can see the ghost before the burial or cemetery? If every ghost attends their own funeral, wouldn't you be able to ask them, the ghost, who caused their death? If so, do you ever assist the police with this sort of thing? Okay, and you hit the nail right on the head. I have to talk to the victim before or during their burial, because if they go into the light, I cannot talk to them. And believe it or not everybody that is murdered knows who killed them. You would think that would be a given, but it's not. But any information that they can give me, I do give to law enforcement agencies, and I've done work for all kinds of law enforcement agencies. And so, yeah, that is something that I definitely do. Okay, this one is from Sally in Canada. I saw a link to your website on Coast to Coast. That's why I'm writing. My mother was recently murdered in Toronto. Her murder has not been solved. I am so worried she did not make it into the light. I've read so many books about souls dying tragically and not crossing over. Is this true? If so, is there any way I could find out? I remember having a discussion about this a month before this happened with her. In case she died, she has to let me know if she made it. I'm still waiting. Or did I miss it? I hope maybe you can somehow shed some light and maybe I can finally find some peace. Okay, two things. Just because a person is murdered does not mean that they won't go into the light. A lot of them, that is a reason for them not to go into the light. They do want somebody to know what happened, or they want their murder to be caught. And the one way you will know for sure if your mom has crossed over is if you or anybody else has had a dream of your mother, especially a nice dream. Not a scary dream, but a nice dream. And if somebody or you have had that, then she is where she is supposed to be and she is at peace. Now, I don't know exactly how long ago she died, but it can take up to 6 months for anybody to have a first dream. It can take up to 2 years sometimes before somebody has a dream. So this is what you have to do, Sally. You're going to have to ask around her friends, your relatives, her relatives, and see if somebody's had a dream of your mom. Now, and the good thing is, if she has crossed over and if somebody has had a dream of her, when you finally do dream of her, you will be able to talk to her and ask her if she knows what happened. There's a lot of times when I do work with law enforcement agencies that I can't give them any answer. Again, because the victim does not know who did this to them. This one is from Virginia. My name is Virginia. 2 years ago I bought a house that had sat empty for 2 years prior to my purchase. When I walked in the house, I knew instantly that someone had died here. There was blood splatter on the subfloor. I won the house in an auction, and when I went to look up the taxes on the property, I learned that I was the nurse who took care of the woman 4 years earlier before her son murdered her. Now I have purchased the house. Let me stop here before I go on. Earthbound spirits need energy to keep going, human energy. If this house was vacant for 2 years, where would she get energy from? She wouldn't. Now, it could be that that was her house and she went where her neighbor is. Her son murdered her, you said. She could be in prison, seeing what he's doing. I mean, she can go anywhere she wants if she didn't cross over, or if she did for that matter. But I don't know if this would be her or not. This is what goes on. I believe she turns lights and fans on in the house, light fixtures and fans that are brand new, electrical installations, they're not the old ones. One recent morning I woke up to my bedroom fan off and the light on, the living room fan off with the light on, and the laundry room light on, fan off. That was quite a bit for one night. I later found out that day it was her daughter's birthday. As I'm writing this, the glass face on the clock that I have over my fireplace is moving, but the clock is standing still. The light and fan turn on by itself all the time when I'm sitting watching TV. I believe this is her. She is not threatening, but I would like her to move on. What you have to do, Virginia, you're going to have to call me from the house when this activity is going on. And I'll be able to tell you if it's a man or a woman. Again, I can't talk to them, but at least I can tell you what she looks like, and maybe you can go from there. If it gets bad, smudge, because that will make her lethargic. And that's pretty much all I can tell you. If she has, you said that it was her granddaughter's birthday. Why wouldn't she be at her granddaughter's house then? So see, I have questions about this. So give me a call and we'll see what we can find out. This one is from Indiana. Our 35-year-old son was shot in his barn on his property. We need to find the killer of him. Please ask God to give you this information and then call the Indiana Police Department, which he gave me their phone number, and tell them who did it. And I will pay for any long distance phone calls that you have. And he leaves his name and address. And I will send you more cases for you to solve. Oh, no. Do not send me cases to solve. To begin with, I never call any law enforcement agency when there's a murder or something violent that happened and offer my services. Anybody who thinks they have any kind of abilities, and people that do have abilities, call all the time when this happens. And I'm sorry, I just don't think that any of them take anybody serious. So if they call me, then I will be happy to work with them. But please do not send me any cases. I know your name and I won't even open them. I will return them. But God does not tell me who killed somebody. I need to talk to the victim to see if they know how they died or who did it. So you have me doing something that I seriously cannot do. If the family wants to get hold of me and I can talk to them and see if the son is with them, again, I can't talk to him, but if he is there and he asks yes or no questions, I can see him shake his head yes or no. but I cannot just pop up with this information. This one is from Diane in Kentucky. My husband was violently murdered in 1988, and his case has never been solved. I think his spirit walks the earth, and I believe if I try to reach out to him with my Ouija board, I may not get to him. I believe he is here and wants closure. We both need closure since he had a violent death at a young age. Isn't it true that since this was a violent death and unsolved that he didn't go into the light because he had unfinished business here? No, not necessarily, like I explained before. I believe ghosts are spirits that don't go into the light when they have a violent death. Again, that is not quite true. That could be a reason why a spirit and or ghost, same thing, two different names, make the choices to go in the light or not. And he might be one of these people like that Patrick Swayze movie Ghosts, that he needed to stay around and figure out, because at the time of that movie he didn't know who killed him either until he went on. Now, her last sentence is, I can't get anyone to do the Ouija board with me. Oh, I'm not sad. Ouija boards, no, do not mess with a Ouija board. Just because you are talking to somebody, if you get that far, that doesn't mean it's the person you want to be talking to. You know, people are liars when they're alive, they're liars when they're dead. So please do not mess with the Ouija board. That would be the very worst thing that you could do. And again, you can call too. That might be, we might be able to get some information off of that. And this is from Joan, and she's calling from Georgia. My son-in-law, father and stepmother were found dead in their home in Colorado. They had been dead about 2 weeks when the neighbors found them. He was 80 and she was 60. My son-in-law is a police officer, but when he finally got to Colorado, the rest of the family had took everything out of the house, and they cannot figure out what happened to this educated man. He had, they said, shot his wife in the head, and the police believe he then shot himself about 2 days later. This has messed up my son-in-law so bad, he just cannot think straight. It just does not make any sense that his parents would have done that. They have 4 children, and they're even afraid to talk to their children about their grandparents. Can you please help him? Can you please tell me who did this? I cannot, again, like the rest of the letters today, I cannot tell just from a letter who or what happened. So you're going to have have your son-in-law call. Their parents are probably not still in their house. They are probably in a different house now, or with him if they haven't crossed over. This one is the last one, and they want to know if I can please come. They got this letter here pretty quick. They want me to come in 4 days to Los Angeles, and they will pay my way. They will pay any amount of money that I want, and they will, if I can tell them who killed their daughter, and there is a $50,000 reward for information leading to their daughter's arrest and conviction. Well, no, I'm not coming to California because there's a virus going around right now that's pretty nasty. So let's make a phone call to me, and let me see if I can get some information from her over the phone. And just for a heads up, I never, ever accept any of the money that's put up for somebody getting information. That's not good money in my opinion. It should stay with the family. That's not something that I should profit off of. I never charge law enforcement agencies to work for them, and I would never take a reward. So I've actually been contacted by people that said they want me to work for them so we could share the reward. No, that's not happening either. So, but definitely give me a call. Let's see if we can figure it out. And this will be a good time because you're calling before the funeral, which is good. And again, next week we will be talking about suicides, and there's a number of them. That will be on Wednesday, August 5th. On Saturday, August 1st, because of all the canceled events for the rest of this year, I am starting Zoom up again. They're going to be on a Saturday afternoon, a Friday night, a Saturday afternoon, a Friday night, one a week, but either on a Friday or Saturday. Go to my website, annwinkowski.com, and look it up and see. And it's pretty interesting because since I did this a couple of months ago, I found out, which I didn't know I could do, that I can actually see when you're on the Zoom if you have a ghost in your house or not. So it's pretty cool. So give me a call from the letters that I talked to today and sign up for Zoom this Saturday or the following Friday. At least you'll know if you've got something in your house or not. Have a great week. Talk to you next week.